School's online till summer. School's online with Blackboard. School's online with Zoom meetings. Hey, I hope everyone's having a great day. Today I want to give you an introduction to marketing, talk a little bit about how it's a process, hit on a couple points, and then talk about a PR piece. So marketing's a process. Most people look at advertisements and they think, oh, that's all there is to marketing. I just need to create something clever like this, and all of a sudden people will see it and they'll buy my product. But it's a little more complicated than that, and there's many steps that you want to make sure that you take in order to be a professional marketer. To be effective, there's so much more that needs to be done and considered and planned. And one of the first things that you want to do is identify who are the customers that you're trying to talk to. Who are the right people that you should get your message out in order to explain about your product. These right customers are referred to as our target market. And thinking about who your target market is and defining that target market can be very important when we look at return on investment and focusing on our marketing dollars. When we determine our target market, we can look at it a couple different ways. We can have it be a well-defined subset, something like a millennial or a baby boomer. Or we could look at specific characteristics or attributes. Maybe we want to go after smokers who are over 40 years old and are white men. No matter how you look at it, it's very important to know who you're targeting to. Without taking that step, you will not be able to design the proper content to get to those people. And again, your marketing efforts will not be as effective as they should be. Once you've identified your target market, you then customize your communications specifically for that target market. This is going to be the most effective way to communicate your product to the specific people you're trying to sell it or market it to. For example, you would not want to use the same marketing efforts to sell to this lady that you would to sell to this family. By understanding who you're targeting, that'll help you control and specifically target that message to that group of people. And it's a very important step in marketing. One of the marketing tactics that I want to talk about today is public relations, which is also known as PR. Public relations is the planned management of media and the community perception of you. It's how you're viewed. This should be used to present you in the best possible light. That being said, it's still going to be up to the media on how you're portrayed, and you can't quite control everything that's out there. So in order for our public relations to be effective, there are certain things that we can do. First, we want to create stories that capture attention. They should not be an advertisement. They'll include our product in it, but it shouldn't be about specifically advertising our product. Public relations is wonderful because it's connected to word of mouth, which is one of the most powerful marketing tools. And public relations can help improve awareness on your product. It projects credibility because the information is coming from a secondary source. It can help to fight competition. It can reinforce the effectiveness of your sales and advertising as it's information coming from a credible source that's saying something positive about you. How do we utilize public relations? Public relations can be utilized on a very small scale or on a very large scale, depending on who you're trying to target and what you're trying to communicate. Like marketing in general, public relations still involves this planning process. It must be a process. First, it has to have a purpose. This should typically be related to a strategy which is related to a goal. If you just think you need to do some PR, you should not do it. You should have a specific measurable goal that's connected to a strategy. And in order to accomplish that strategy, one of the tactics will be a specific PR piece. Don't get ahead of yourself and just think that it's important to have PR out there. Also, you need to make sure you know who the target market is that you're putting this PR piece out to. Even if you have a goal that you're trying to accomplish and you have a great PR piece, if it's not connected to the market that you're trying to target, it may not be relevant and it may not be as impactful as what you were looking to get. Once you have this goal and you have this target market, you need to be able to make sure that this PR piece will reach the target market. Let's say I've identified my target market as suburban women over 50, and I've created a perfect piece that suburban women over 50 would love to read that will paint our product in a great light. If I can't get that published in a publication that they read, then it's not going to be effective. So you also need to make sure that you're able to reach your target market. And finally, you must provide a benefit to the target market. No one wants to read about an advertisement. They want something connected to what they care about that can also infuse your company. This is a very important component of public relations. It is not an advertisement. It's providing a benefit to the consumer. To provide a benefit on the target market, you need to develop stories on the product itself. The best way to do this is to create stories through personnel, customers, or history. And I'm going to go through each of those and kind of explain what I mean. Let's say, for example, we were trying to get out positive information on our Hilton College. Well, the first thing we could look at is writing something about personnel, maybe something interesting about an employee. Did you know, for example, that the dean once saved a baby from a burning building? Wouldn't that be something interesting that we can put out that would get people reading about the Hilton College and present us in a positive light? Or something about a customer. In the case of the Hilton College, you, the students, are customers. What about the fact that Monica Dutta, class of 1988, invented the automated hotel key lock? Wouldn't that be an interesting story that people would be excited to read that could also paint the Hilton College in a good light? Or finally, something about the history. We could talk about how Conrad Hilton gave $1.5 million in 1969 to establish the first hotel and restaurant management school in the South, and that in 1971, the college had its first graduates. There were 8 graduates. All of these things are going to be stories that people find interesting, yet are not going to be seen as an overt advertisement. At the same time, they'll be providing good word of mouth and creating a positive image of our college. When using public relations, it's very important to remember that relationships are very important. You can write the perfect piece for the product and get it and send it to as many people as you want. But if you don't have that relationship, you're not as likely to get your story posted. Anyone can write a story and send it. Anyone can email it. Anyone can call. A key component of successful public relations is developing those relationships with the authors and the influencers. Now, if you're using a PR firm, that's something that you can do as well, and they may already have those relationships. Just a couple words of caution. If you use a PR firm, make sure that you have a budget for it. PR firms can be very pricey. Some of the ones I worked with charge between $300 and $500 an hour. Secondly, make sure you're using reputable firms. There are many people that want to start their own PR firm and might have the ability to put out something that looks good as far as a website and a media presence, but they may not actually be able to deliver. Make sure these PR firms provide you with a written plan. Make sure that they've gone through the process. They know what you're trying to accomplish. They understand who this target market is. This is how they're going to specifically do it, And this is what it's going to look like over the course of many months. And make sure they understand what your goals are. What are you trying to accomplish? That they'll sit down with you and really take the time to understand that. Some final takeaways on PR. Coverage is going to come to innovative ideas. If you're writing something or talking about something that many people talk about, it's not going to be as successful. Be creative. This is your time to have fun as a marketer. And finally, consistent results only come from consistent effort. You should have a PR plan that extends beyond just this first piece. You should have a full year of plans of what you're going to put out, when you're going to put them out, who it's targeted to, who specifically you're going to try and contact in order to get it published, and what goal it's connected to. You'll also want to have some kind of measure of success on your efforts. So utilizing public relations can be an outstanding tool, but it's a tactic. And remember, with all marketing, it starts with a goal of what you want to accomplish and what you're going to be able to measure and say yes or no, it did or did not happen. Then you're going to have a strategy that's going to allow you to accomplish that goal. And the tactics are those individual steps that you utilize in order to hit that strategy. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. I hope you have a great day. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Cell phone or email.